Let's head first to England, where we talk about the Premier League. Arsenal have won for the first time in 5 games over Crystal Palace, where they beat them 5-0 at the Emirates. This is a huge step for Arsenal, especially for wanting to be title contenders. As for Crystal Palace, though, this adds a lot of pressure to head coach Roy Hodgson. Staying in the Premier League, Ivan Toney has scored his first goal back at Brentford against Nottingham Forest, where they got their first win in 8 games. Moving on to the Bundesliga in Germany, we take a look at Bayern Munich as they take their first loss in 32 games against Werder Bremen. The longest winning streak ever recorded in German professional football has been ended over the weekend. This loss is going to definitely hurt in the long run for Bayern Munich, especially because Bayern Leverkusen, currently 7 points clear of the top of the table, got a comeback win against RB Leipzig. Not to mention, Bayern Leverkusen continue the dream and remain undefeated this season. Moving on to Italy, in Serie A, Juventus took a 3-0 win against Lecce to overcome top of the table Inter Milan. However, that's not the biggest news that's happened this weekend in Italy. The big story happens at the Udinese versus Milan game. The game was suspended early in the first half for a brief period because Milan goalkeeper Mike Mignon received shouts of racial slurs and abuse from the fans. After being shouted these words, he went over to referee Fabio Maresca to inform him of the situation. The game did resume shortly after, where Milan ended up winning 3-2. Staying on the topic of racism in football, let's head back to England and go down to the Championship. For this specific incident, this occurred on the same day as the incident in Milan, where there is an investigation by the police of South Yorkshire investigating a racial gesture that has been aimed towards Coventry midfielder Casey Palmer. The president of FIFA has spoke out about this, calling both incidents totally adherent and completely unacceptable. He now demands that any game should be forfeited by clubs that involve any racial abuse towards players, coaches, staff, or all of the above. Let's head down to Spain, where Real Madrid got a comeback win over Almeria. A lot of people rename it to, instead of Real Madrid's comeback win, they call it Real Madrid's cheated win. The visiting team claimed that the game was stolen from them after allowing a handball goal from Vinicius Jr. and denying Almeria's goal earlier in that game. Players would run to the referee, complaining, arguing, demanding a reason why their goal hasn't been allowed, why Real Madrid's goal has been allowed. So there has been a lot of controversy in Spain this last weekend. Do you believe that Real Madrid could have done something like this, where they corrupt referees to get calls in their favor so they could win the league? Right now, Girona are top of the table, and Real Madrid remain second place, just 1 point behind. And Girona got a win, a 5-1 victory over Sevilla this weekend as well, with their player Artem Dobek getting a 6-minute hat-trick. Lastly, in Spain, let's move to Barcelona, where they got a 4-2 victory over Real Betis, where 16-year-old Pau Cubarsí made his full debut. He actually turned 17 today as I'm recording this video, and is considered to be one of the top prospects in La Masia. Barcelona are currently in 3rd place with 44 points, 7 points behind rivals Real Madrid, and 8 from top of the table Girona. Head coach Xavi is still under a lot of pressure after not having consistent performances on the field. Would you want Xavi to stay at Barcelona and continue his managerial career at the club? Or would you prefer to see somebody else at the club? Jose Mourinho just got fired at Roma, so maybe he could step in. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And last but certainly not least, we head back to England to the WSL. In the Women's Super League, Chelsea played Manchester United, where they got a 3-1 victory thanks to their number 10, Lauren James. James scored a hat-trick on the day. This means that she has more goals on the ground this season than any other Chelsea player. So congratulations to Lauren James. That's going to wrap up for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing this video and the channel to everyone. I really do appreciate it. Let me know if there's anything that I've missed that you think stood out in any specific league. I would love to hear about it and cover it next time. Until next time, make sure to stay tuned. I will try to come up with a name for this series of me updating, or I'll just call it like weekly recaps, but I'll come up with a name at some point. I'll see you in the next video.